What's up, guys? Today we're going to be showing you guys how to solder copper together. A few of the things you're going to need, of course, copper, whatever you're going to be bonding together, right? We need a soldering kit. You find it at Home Depot or any hardware store. We need fire. We need a torch. Uh, since we're working with fire, you always want to have a fire extinguisher nearby. And if you don't feel comfortable doing none of this, then stop now. This is not for you, right? We need a sandpaper or a wire brush. In this case, I'm using sandpaper because this wire brush only goes up to 3/4 and I'm working with a 1-inch pipe. I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes. If you're cutting pipe down, you need a pipe cutter, right? This is what a pipe cutter looks like. You put it around the copper pipe, whatever you're working on. You want to tighten it up, do one turn at a time, tighten it up, one more turn, tighten it up, and you keep going until it cuts through the pipe. You don't want to do too much because you're going to mess up your blade. So to get started, you want to clean the pipe off. You want to sand this down, or if you've got a wire brush, brush this down, right? What we're doing here is just making this nice and shiny to remove any defects on the pipe. You want to make it nice and clean. You want to make sure you cover the whole section going in the coupler. If you need to, make a little mark on it, dry fit it. That way you make sure you cover everything that's going in the coupler. In this case, I'm already good enough here. Same thing with the coupler side. You want to sand the inside of it just enough for the pipe to go in and out. You want to make sure there's nothing in there that's going to stop the pipe from going in. So give it a little more. Now we could add our flux around the pipe. Just enough. Make sure you go around the whole pipe. Cover everything that's going in the coupler. Pretty good. Same with the 90 with the coupler. Throw some in there. And you want to make sure this goes in and out easily, right? So you can see that went in pretty smooth. I have a little vise right here just because it will heat up. It gets pretty hot. You don't want to hold this with your hands. You got to remember you're working with fire. This is not a game, guys. Lighter. Reason why I got a lighter because my torch igniter doesn't work. So if you got one and it works, you don't need a lighter. So now that we got the flux in there, you want to prep your solder, right? So you want to cover whatever piece of pipe you're working with. So if you're doing a 1/2 inch, you want to save a 1/2 inch out of it. So I'm gonna use the pipe as measurement. So that's all that it should take for this coupler, for this bond to go good. So we got the flux in there. The vise is nice and tight. Let me start my torch up. All right. So the way you want to do this is you want to heat up the pipe. You want to make sure that the pipe melts the solder down. You don't want the flame to melt this down. So just work the flame around the pipe. Make sure it's nice and hot. If you got eye protection, put it on. You might start splashing a little bit. Make sure those eyes are covered. If you got gloves, you want to wear gloves, go ahead and put them on. I'm not the type of guy that works with gloves. I put them on to go in the house though. So this seems pretty hot enough. You want to just go little by little. It should melt it on its own, guys. See how it's melting? See how it's just driving around the pipe? Same thing. You want to let the flame and the pipe do the work. So you make sure you go around the whole pipe. Seems pretty good. You want to let it cool down on its own. You don't want to speed up the process. Seen guys that throw it in water. Doing that just makes the bond weaker. You don't want to make the bond weaker. You don't want any leaks. So you got to give it a few minutes to cool down, guys. Just let it cool down. And if you once it's like nice and cool, if you want to grab it, put gloves on. Just wait, give it time. If you see any little holes, anything that you see, maybe the solder didn't go in, you could reheat up the pipe and add a little more solder. That should be pretty good, guys. I mean, you can see I'm not the best welder or soldering guy. I'm not a plumber whatsoever, but I do things myself. It saves me a lot of money. I take pride in my work. This might not look pretty, but if you guys want to see some welding videos, I could weld stainless, could weld any kind of metal, guys. I'm better at welding steel than copper, I'll tell you that. But thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment, leave feedback, whatever you guys want to see. I'll make videos of it. Thank you so much. Bye.